Okay, on page 5, we're mainly working with sales tax and simple interest. If you look at number 1, it gives you the list of sales tax in 4 cities, city A, B, C, and D. And in part A, the question says, Tom wants to buy a sweater for $30. How much will Tom pay for his shirt in city C? Okay, so this sweater is $30. And in city C, what's the sales tax? As you can see, sales tax is 2% in city C. Okay, so how much is he gonna pay for this sweater, for this shirt? Well, what percent would represent all of that cost? All of the original cost, that would be 100%, right? All of the original cost is 100% plus you're paying 2% in sales tax. So how much is that total? What's 100% plus 2%? That is 102%. You're paying 102% of the original cost. And so if I want 102% of the original cost, I got to make this percentage into a decimal by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So that would be 1.02. That's 102% in decimal form. And of means multiply. I want 1.02 of the original price. So that's 30, right? That's the original price. And if I put this in my calculator, 1.02 times 30, that's going to be 30.6. And money always has 2 digits after the decimal, so I got to add placeholder 0. So the sweater is going to cost this much, $30.60 in city C. Okay, that's part A of the question. Part B of the question says how much more will his shirt cost in city B than in city D? Okay, so I got to find out how much would it cost in city B, how much would it cost in city D, and then find the difference. Okay, so let's first do city B. Okay, city B. What's the sales tax there? Well, the sales tax there is 4%. Okay, so you're going to pay all of the price for the sweater, which would represent 100%, right? All of the price is 100%, plus you're paying 4% in sales tax, for a total of 104%. You're paying 104% of the original price. Okay, so make this percentage a decimal by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So 104% in decimal form is 1.04, and you're multiplying that by the original cost because you want 104% of the original cost. Once you put this into your calculator, you get 31.2, which is $31.20. Okay, this is city B. That was city B, $31.20 in city B. But how much more will it cost in that city than in city D? Well, in city D, what is the sales tax? City D, the sales tax is 3%. So you're paying 100% of the original cost plus 3% in sales tax for a total of 103% of the original cost. Again, make the percentage a decimal, so that would be 1.03 times the cost of the sweater, which is $30, and you put this into your calculator, you get 30.9, which is $30.90. Okay, that is city D. Okay, so now we're ready to find the difference. We know it's this much in city B and this much in city D. So how are you going to find the difference? How are you going to find how much more you pay in city B than in city D? Well, difference means subtract. So you're just going to subtract this amount minus this amount, and you would get 0.3 or 0.30. So it's 30 cents. There's a 30-cent difference in city B than in city D. Okay, question 2 is very similar. You have, again, 4 cities there, and you have the sales tax in each city. So let's look at part A first. Okay, part A says Jerry wants to buy a shirt for $20. How much will I should say Jerry, how much will Jerry pay for his shirt in city A? Okay, his shirt is $20, so that's what we're going to start with, $20. And what percent would represent all of this cost? Well, that would be 100%, right? If you pay the total cost, that's 100% all of the cost. Plus, you're paying tax. And how much is tax in city A? In city A, the tax is 3.2%. 3.2%. So you're paying the cost plus 3.2% in sales tax. So 100 plus 3.2% is 103.2%. You're paying 103.2% of the original cost, or times the original cost. You got to make the percentage a decimal so that you can multiply by the original cost. To make the percentage a decimal, you would divide by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the left. And so once you do that, you get your decimal as 1.032 of the cost, or times the cost, which is $20. And so once you put this into your calculator, you get 20.64. So it's $20.64. That's how much it costs in City A. Now part B says, how much more will his shirt cost in City A than in City C? Okay, well, we've already figured out how much City A is, right? This is the cost in City A. So let's figure out how much does it cost in City C. So City C. The shirt is $20, which again, that would be 100% of the cost. All of the cost is $20. But you're also paying sales tax. And in City C, the sales tax is, it tells me, 2.7%. So what is 100% plus 2.7%? Well, that is 102.7%. So you're paying 102.7% of the total cost. And so you got to make this percentage a decimal by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal 2 places to the left. And so you're going to get 1.027 times the original cost, so times 20. And when I multiply that, I will get 20.54. So this is the cost in City C. Okay, so I know City A costs $20.64 and City C costs $20.54. So what's the difference between those two costs? Well, the difference, if you subtract them, you would get this much, which is 10 cents, right? There's a 10-cent difference between the cost in those two cities. Number 3 says the price of the graphing calculator is $80. The sales tax is 7%. What is the total cost of the calculator? Okay, so we want the total cost of the calculator. Well, if the calculator is $80, what percent would represent all of that cost, the whole cost? Well, that would be 100%, right? If you pay 100% of the price, you're paying all of it, which in this case is $80. But you're also paying sales tax, right? So onto this price, you're going to add 7% sales tax, and so 100% plus 7% is 107%. You're paying 107% of the original cost. That's how much you'll pay for this calculator. And so you got to make the percentage a decimal by dividing by 100, which is the same thing as moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So 107% in decimal form would be 1.07, and you're multiplying that by the original cost, which is 80. And once you multiply this, once you put that in your calculator, you'll get 85.6. Got to add placeholder 0 because money always has 2 digits after the decimal. And so this would be $85.60. That's how much you will pay for this graphing calculator. Okay, number 4 asks about interest. Now remember, to find interest, which we use capital I to represent interest, to find interest we take P, the principal, which is the amount borrowed or earned. Interest equals principal times rate times time. The rate is a lowercase r. It is given to you as a percentage, but to put it into the equation, you always make it a decimal. And time is given in years. So interest equals principal times rate times time. You need to memorize this. Principal times rate times time. So in number 4 it says an amount of $4,000 is invested. So that's going to be our principal, the amount that you invest. That's the principal, which is $4,000. Okay. Okay, it says the interest rate is 2%. So that's going to be this little r right there. 2% as a decimal is 0.02, right? You would just divide by 100. 2 divided by 100, that's 2.02 or 2%. And the amount earned, it says what is the amount earned in 1 year? So if I invest this much at this rate for t, which is time of 1 year, how much is earned? So how much interest is earned? And so what I do is I multiply 4,000 times 0.02 times 1, and I would get 80, right? So $80 would be the interest earned in 1 year. Number 5, find the total cost of a pair of shoes for $57 with a sales tax of 8%. Sales tax of 8%. Okay, so I have the total cost of the pair of shoes is $57. $57. So what percent am I starting with? All of this cost, the total cost would be 100%, right? That's all of the original cost. But you're also paying tax on that, which in this case is 8%. Okay, so you're paying 100% of the price plus 8% more in sales tax, and 100 plus 8 is 108%. So you're paying 108% of the original cost. You got to make the percentage a decimal by dividing this number by 100, or moving the decimal 2 places to the left, which would be 1.08 times the original cost, so times 57. And when I put that in my calculator, I would get 61.56. So I will pay $61.56 for this pair of shoes after tax. Okay, last one, number 6. Again, I am calculating interest, and I know interest is equal to principal times rate times time. And so the question is, how much interest is earned? So I want to know how much interest is earned in 3 years. So that's going to be my T. My T will be 3, but let's figure out the principal first. What's the principal? How much interest is earned in 3 years on $5,000? So that's my principal at an interest rate of 3%. So that's my R. 3%, what is that as a decimal? I divide 3 by 100 and I get 0.03. That's my interest rate. And the time, what do we say? How many years does it say? 3 years, right? So that's my T. So principal, 5,000 times rate of 3%, which is 0.03 as a decimal, over 3 years. So 5,000 times 0.03 times 3, I would get $450. That is the interest. That is the interest earned over that time span at that interest rate.